I'm going to go see a chiropractor because it's been a long time feeling this way to line my spine back together. I just do a lot of back exercises I'm doing right now. I was watching the movie Sonny and Cher with my dad yesterday. He loves Sonny and Cher. That's one of his favorite groups from the 60s time. But we're talking about old friends yesterday because, he runs into people from Kearney Mesa High School and different friends of his, but he hung around a different crowd. They're like antisocial biker people. A lot of them are dead from overdoses or went to prison for rape or other things. And I had never met most of the majority of them. A lot of them hung around Hell's Angels kind of people to take snakes out of their pockets. I would never be caught dead hanging around that kind of crowd. Growing up, I'm around Corey, but she goes by Ariel now. And in National City, we was right near a cemetery. It was our Gwinnett Avenue Cemetery. It was like had old 1800s graves, and someone had carved like a pentagram in their house. And I remember her mom praying around her house about it. But this is way back in the National City days, and she went to Ira Harbison. She had a speech impediment, and she had a bubble butt and was real tall and a volleyball team. And 4/4 Japanese by her dad, and she's visited Japan by now and travels, and she loves Japanese food and like eating fish and it's different culture kind of a thing. But yeah, she would get in fights to get attention. It was funny with her bubble butt, and it wasn't anything serious, but she would do that to get attention from guys. And she would go to one school to other, Hilltop High School kind of area, and would make friends with different people, different crowds. Social butterfly. The only thing is she would ignore you or not have your back when you go places when there were some dangerous guys around, and it was really bad. But I had always had my own back, and she looked at me like I was a wimp. But I would go over to Dale Boyer's up the street from her. We watched Japanese horror movies that were so bad that I showed it to one of my exes. It was such a bad movie that his mom walked in there and wanted us to shut it off, as well as him, because it was too far beyond. It was like The Grudge. It was about a serial killer that spikes a girl in the head, like a hammer thing. It was a serial killer movie, and it was too dark and gruesome, and he didn't want to watch it. He watched campy movies with like Rob Zombie kind of movies, but he couldn't watch this. He told me to shut it off. It was that much. It was not like The Grudge. It was realistic, too much, too gruesome, and Dale was the only one up the street that would watch those kind of movies, and he's the one who showed us that in his garage when we walked in there. We would hang out there often in National City, which is a rough area. But no, I didn't hang around those kind of people. I remember Eric came here. He's all like thinking that like I'm all like more hardcore and all of that, but I'm not. And no, actually she looked at me like I was a wimp, and I wasn't in the volleyball team or any of that. And I had a crush on Brian Kennett, who was blonde, looked like Tom Petty. And he had a group of friends that were like skateboarder guys in Metallica shirts, and Connor was his friend. They were like the Hanson brothers, and they played guitar and would hang out. But back then I was chubby and brunette, and he had no interest in me whatsoever. His eyes were on girls that looked like him, and eventually he got a girl pregnant and married, and that was my elementary crush. Ira Harbison. Yeah, with her gap and her big booty. And that's where I grew up in National City, a real rough ghetto area, Hilltop High School kind of kids, and a lot of Mexicans around. We walk around sketchy parks and the cemetery and go to the corner store and get junky candy that they don't sell anymore, where they